Hey, welcome to My Drink and My Truth, the podcast and the quarantine chat you never knew you needed. Here, we'll create a safe space for women to discuss and unpack the dynamic of all relationships, from dating to marriage and friendship and everything in between. So grab your drink and get ready to speak or discover your truth. Hi, welcome to another episode of My Drink and My Truth. Today's episode is a continuation of the previous episode, The Five Love Languages and Apology Part 1. So if you have not heard that episode, go ahead and check it out before you listen to this one. And if you've already heard the episode, welcome back. Grab your drink because the conversation continues. Me and my girls, we go ahead and break down Gary Chapman's five apology languages. So get ready, set, let's go.
All right. So the first language of apology is expressing regret. For many people, in order to truly forgive, they need to see that the person who hurt regrets what they have done. And for this person, an apology is first and foremost emotional. They want to know there is real regret behind the apology. Now, I took the test twice. The first time I took the test, I got accepting responsibility. That one we'll talk about next. But then I took the test again and I got expressing regret. And to me, I feel like expressing regret and accepting responsibility is hand in hand. For me, again, I am very big on words. Don't say nothing you don't mean because you can't take it back. So if in the case that you do say something, and I am considering to forgive, I need to know that it is genuine and you actually regret what you have done, and there is no way you will do this to me again. Because I'm not one of those people that you just say I'm sorry and it's water under the bridge. No. These waters are still filtering in, honey, and all right, it's a whole Katrina vibe over here.
Period.
So
that's how too. You said what test result did you get?
well,
Genuinely repent?
No.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to you, Jess.
Okay. Go ahead.
Jess is ready for hers. She's like, that's ready. We'll get to you, girl. But yeah, like I need to know, like this is you have regret that. Like I don't know whatever the circumstance as to why you said it or why you did it. If I just feel like you telling me sorry just to say sorry, boo boo, keep your sorry. I don't want it. So that is the very first one. The second one is accepting responsibility. This element of an apology is similar to expressing regret. This person needs to hear admission of responsibility for causing the hurt. So like I said, I feel like it's really hand in hand with expressing regret. Andrea and Elaine, you two got this one, accepting responsibility. So you guys can go ahead and talk on that one.
For me, well, let's start with this quiz was very difficult for me to take. I was texting Mahalia like they don't have Black people responses because I've never heard these apologies.
Black people don't really know how to apologize.
Me too,
I've never
girl.
heard these apologies. Like, I'm so sorry for making you feel this way. And I'm like, how would I feel if somebody even said that to me? Like, I've never heard it. And that's a real problem in the Black community. But we won't talk about that today. But for me, it was very difficult. It was very difficult for me to take this quiz. And when I got like accepting responsibility, right? For me, I want you to, it's going to sound petty, but I want you to hear out of your own mouth of the foul thing that you did to me.
That's a fact.
That ain't petty,
you know?
That's a fact.
Like, I want you to hear it and
say it.
Like, yes,
people
like
back can hear it
from your lips to your own ears, so you can kind of put it into perspective. Like, you know what, that was messed up. You know, but I don't know. This was a hard one. It took me a while to complete this one. It wasn't as long as the love languages, but it did take me a while to complete this because I was just like, I've never heard these apologies in my life. But once I got my results, it was like, yeah, you know what? Like, if someone was to apologize to me about something, this is what I would want to hear. Like, this is what I think would make me get over the situation, by them accepting responsibility for their part. A lot of times people just give like fake apologies, like, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for?
Right.
You know, in my past relationships, that was something that was really big. Like, if we got into an argument and they apologize, what are you apologizing for? Because you can just say sorry because you see I'm upset, but you're not accepting the responsibility of being the person that upset me. What did you do do you understand what you did that made me upset? Because if not, then I don't want the apology.
Let the church say amen.
Amen.
Okay, so one, I do not accept apologies with "I'm sorry you feel," because that is not an apology.
Pause. That is a Virgo apology, and y'all need to learn to accept it.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat this again.
For the people in the back.
I'm gonna repeat this, and I'm gonna say it louder for the people in the back. So if that's the people, if Virgos are the people in the back, see, this how you.
I'm in the middle seat. I'm in the middle seat.
Hear me though. Hear me though. Hear me though. Understand, I'm sorry you feel is not an apology, because you're not sorry that you did it. You're sorry I feel that way. But what you said, you meant to say. And that's the problem. You cannot sit there and say you sorry you feel. That's not an apology.
But let me tell you, sorry to cut you off, Dre, but I feel like
the Virgo had to speak up. Go ahead.
Because again, I'm very conscious about what I say. Like I said before, I'm not gonna say nothing I don't mean. Now,
right.
Me and Drea have this conversation a lot. Drea, I feel like, is one of my friends she's one of that friend that'll be like, until you apologize to me, I ain't gonna talk to you no more.
She is that straight. Right?
Yes, and like, I don't want to. I'm not gonna tell nobody that, because I don't need you apologizing to me just because you want access to me. Okay, so if you really want an apology, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I meant what I said.
Right,
and that's my logical way of thinking too.
And that right there, that's wrong, because at the end of the day, again, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I feel like that's wrong. You're not gonna tell me you apologize that I feel, but you meant what you said. Because at the end of the day, if I feel like you disrespected me, you meant to disrespect me.
No, I meant to say what I said, not to disrespect you. So that's why
no. Because at the end of the day, you cannot. Again, people are raised differently, so you cannot tell somebody to accept your level of disrespect, because what I feel is disrespectful, you may not feel like it's disrespectful, and the things I do to you, you may deem disrespectful. I have to take that into consideration.
Right. So that's why I apologize that you feel disrespected, because my intent was not to disrespect you, but what I said is what I meant.
That's not an apology, which is why I said I had to learn. This is why I had to learn that it's okay to say what you say, but how you say it is detrimental.
That's what the apology is for. I'm sorry that it came off disrespectful, but I meant what I said.
I feel like when you say something like that, you don't mean an apology. So don't start off with "I'm sorry you feel," because that's not you.
So you're not really. What's the proper way to say it?
When you think about it, just because you said what you said doesn't mean you just like you just said. I said what I said. I'm not gonna take that back. Okay, well, I feel how I feel. So
I'm not going to change the feeling of that.
Exactly. Like, just because you feel like it's right doesn't mean that I don't feel some type of way. So I acknowledge how you feel. You need to acknowledge how I feel.
But that's the point. I acknowledge that you felt I acknowledge that you either felt disrespected or hurt. And my apology of saying that I apologize that you feel this way is because I did not mean, my intent wasn't to hurt your feelings. My intent was to express my emotions. So I don't regret what I said.
Rather regret what you said. Regret how you said it, because at the end of the day, it was something that hurt someone else, and that's never anybody's intention. So you do have to take accountability for that. You can't say "I'm sorry, I feel," but I said what I said. That's disrespectful.
No, I'm not gonna say I said what I said. I'm sorry.
No. I understand that, but let's make a clear understanding. Once you say, and I'm only gonna speak for, I'm not gonna speak for race. What I'm gonna tell you is, once you say I said what I said, right there already, that apology is not going well.
I'm not gonna say. I'm
sorry.
Somebody and say I said what I said.
I'm sorry. When somebody comes and be like, "I'm sorry you feel," 9 times out of 10, you cutting the apology.
I don't think so. I'm really sorry that you feel this way because.
Okay, so can you do me a favor?
Okay.
Can you do me a favor on my drink and my truth on this Instagram? Put up a poll to see how people feel about that. Start off.
Okay, I'll do that. But Jess was about to say something. Jess, what were you about?
Jess. So I literally just dealt with this issue of I've been friends with this girl for almost 5 years. We were talking about the whole George Floyd situation, everything that's going on. She's Hawaiian. Her boyfriend is Black. So I was like, hey, girl, I'm just, sending out my prayers to your dude. Mind you, we're mad cool. I was like, I'm sending, prayers out to all my friends that have Black men in their lives that, just because they need protection. They need prayers because of all the stuff that's going on in the world.
Just being
I said, I pray for your family. I just send the prayers out there, that every single time he leaves the house, he comes back. I said that was my prayer. That's exactly what I wrote her. She's gonna write me back and say it was disrespectful, it was distasteful, and that I need to worry about and pray for my husband and pray for her, man.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. You know what, Elaine? You right. I'm sorry you feel that way.
That's what I just said. It can go either way. Now with that situation right there, I told her, I said, listen, of course I apologize. I'm like, I didn't mean to disrespect you. You my friend. We've been friends forever. I've never disrespected you before. And so why would I start disrespecting you now?
That wouldn't even have been an apology.
I was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, I don't see why it was disrespectful. I gave her my point of view. I don't see why it's disrespectful. But, at the end of the day, I didn't mean to disrespect you. But I'm not going to take back what I said.
I'm going to stand corrected, and I'm going to go with Mahalia and Elaine. I'm sorry you feel, because there we go. I can come and say when I'm a little bit wrong. And I said a little bit.
Just a splash.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it was. I'm sorry if you feel that way, but I'm not gonna apologize for what I said because my intentions were pure. I might say sorry because you're my friend and I definitely didn't mean to disrespect you, but I'm sorry you feel disrespected. And then she cut me off. She literally blocked me from everything. Like, oh yeah, I don't fuck with you. But by the way, do you still have the clothes that you wanted to give my daughter?
No, see, no, I don't.
Jess, no. She cut you off. She cut you off for a reason, and you don't go back. When she tries to open up, you do not.
There's no point.
Speak her love language. She disrespectful, and you need to address her as is.
My apology language is genuinely repent.
Yes, let me tell the people the definition before you get into it.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Right, but I said it literally.
Hold on. Can I say something? Because I need to speak on the affirmation of the apology thing for myself. Understand this. You cannot say sorry to me without acknowledging what you did. Because if you don't understand what you did, there's no sorry. Because that means that there's room for you to do it again. And there's no room. I want you to understand what you did. So you have to repeat what pissed me off or what put me in a bad place for you to apologize to me. Other than that, don't apologize to me. You can hold it. You can hold your breath underwater until you turn blue in the face. You cannot apologize to me. And Mahalia, I'm serious. And Mahalia says, like, you always want an apology from somebody. I don't always want an apology from somebody because I want you to understand a lot of people would never apologize. Mm-hmm. But I do hold you accountable. So I want you to understand I gave you the opportunity to apologize. But if our relationship never went back the way it was, it's because you was never man enough to come to me and tell me you were wrong.
A word.
So that's why I am the way I am. Because when I'm wrong, I'm quick to apologize. I'm quick to tell somebody I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. what can I do? And it makes me change my own actions, especially if I hurt somebody I love. Because the people I love, I hold dear to my heart. So I never want to make someone feel away. So at the end of the day, if I can apologize and own up to my stuff, I want somebody to treat me with the same understanding and respect. So I want you to apologize. And if you don't, that's okay. But that's not a burden I'm going to carry. That's your burden. And I gave it to you. That's why I always ask for an apology.
That's me snapping if you can't hear.
Ooh, we snapping. You swear you in a poetry?
All right. Third one. Genuine repentance. Similar to expressing regret. That's why me and just connect them right now. In that it comes from the heart, but must also come with a promise to change. So the problem does not happen again. Telling your loved one you want to change and make a plan to ensure success. Just go.
And I definitely feels like this tunes in with my love language of the words of affirmation. Like going back to what I said as to you feel how you feel, we write it down, we talk about it later. But, if I feel like you wronged me and you don't feel like you wronged me, I wouldn't expect an apology. I would expect you to look deeper within yourself and realize why you made me feel the way that you made me feel. And if I'm not going to go through something with somebody a second time. I don't care who you are. I don't give you my mom. To be honest, I'm be really dead at my mom would never disrespect me or nothing because me and my mom have a great relationship. But let me go to my sister. Me and my sister have gone through things, and to the point where I'm the type of person that people, I feel like people think that they can just say whatever to me. Like they take my kindness as a weakness. And I've gotten to the point to where I'm tired of dealing with that. You can't just think that you can say whatever to me and then think it's going to be okay later on down the line, because it's not. And I'm not going to be as forgiving. But if you want me to forgive you, then we need to make this a change, because I'm not going to deal with the same situation again. You need to, like you said, genuinely repent and show me that you want to change. And then we'll go from there. And I'll think about forgiving you later on. But let's work on that. It's always been, I'd rather forgive than forget, to be honest. Because the forgetting part means that it's never happened, and it did. Forgiving on more side would be for me, because I'm not going to give you that power over me to make me feel that way just because I don't forgive you. If you get what I'm saying.
I get it.
I feel you, sis.
It's just like, I'm a pure person. Like any of my intentions, I've always been pure with people. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to admit my faults, because that's just how I am. If I'm wrong, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to suck up my pride, and I'm going to have to deal with the hand that I was dealt. But, as far as, I just need people to feel like they want to change. If this situation, like there are people I know that go through the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's like, don't complain about that, because you keep letting that person do that to you over and over and over again. I need to know you're not going to do it. And I need you to show me that you're not going to do it again. And I need you to tell me that you're not going to do it again. And I need you to want to see that change within yourself, or we can't move on from here.
Yeah, I feel you. And you said something that really took my attention. Like, you're pure and you say something, and if someone says something and they need to apologize, or you need to apologize, you have no problem apologizing. I sometimes struggle with apology, right? And it's only because I work so hard in not hurting people with my words. Okay, that when somebody says something to me that is hurtful, it takes me a minute to wrap my head around why you would say it. Like, you're not being as careful with my feelings as I am with yours, right? And it doesn't even have to be someone I love, just people in general. Like, recently, I had a little, spat with somebody, and I told Elaine, and she's like, F his feelings, tell him this, tell him that. And I'm just like, I don't want to do all that, because I don't know what this person is going through in life. And as
First,
long
don't paint me out to be that person that don't care about nobody's feelings.
Elaine, understand? I got your back.
Thank you, Drea. Thank you.
You need to understand sometimes, Mahalia, some people need that shit. Because
yes, hurt their feelings.
Excuse me. Some people need that because some people take kindness for weakness. And if you never put their foot on their neck, they don't.
That's fine. But y'all also know my cutoff game is strong. I will cut you off and act like I've never
sometimes you
known you. Ever.
That's not the answer. Sometimes that's not the answer. Sometimes it's okay to stand in the room and demand respect. You don't have to.
It's not about respect always. You're always gonna respect me. And the fact that I cut you off let you know that you have to cross the line and I'm not gonna deal with it. But at the same time, I'm in a place in my life where I'm understanding people go through. I'm one of those people that go through stuff and you would never know. I would never know.
But let me ask you a question. If you always cut people off, where's room for change?
I don't need you. If you want to hurt me, if you're willingly ready to hurt me, I'm okay with cutting you off. I haven't met person that I cut off and I'm not okay with it yet.
Listen, this is what you have to understand. You still have to understand, and I say this a lot. A lot of people are not raised how we were raised.
All right, they'll be raised over there. Then leave me alone.
But that's the thing. If you Virgo, if you
wait, I'm listening right now. I'm like, is this how I sound when I talk to people? Like,
right? Maybe. And you know what? I love Mahalia. I love Mahalia, but sometimes what you have to understand is some people don't understand the level of hurt they give because that's taught behavior. Like I told you, I defended myself through words because that's how I was taught, right? If I never hurt somebody that I cared about and somebody ever gave me the chance to redeem myself, I would have never learned the lesson. I would have kept going like, oh, she cut me off because I was right. He cut me off because I was right. I never learned.
That's your job, not mine.
See, that's how I feel. I just want to say that I am terrible when it comes to apologizing. Like, I really... And this is some earnestly say that I'm not going to work on because I feel like I've worked on it. Because I feel like I've worked on it.
Oh my God.
Where I am now.
Elaine, that is... wait, let me hear what you got to say before I say what I'm
That's why I said honestly and earnestly. And let me tell you why I'm not going to work on it, right? Because I was raised like in a certain environment where I always had to apologize, even when I was not the person that was in the wrong. So I grew up always saying, I'm sorry, I apologize for shit that I didn't even do, but because of the backlash that it caused. So as I got older, I was in a relationship with somebody and it was like, you apologize for everything, like literally everything. Like if I walked in your house and I moved your rug, I would be like, I'm sorry. Like, I would literally apologize for everything. So now I get to the point where I'm more mindful of the things that I say. I do not regret anything that I say because I take into consideration that, listen, this is something you want to keep pushing me. This is something that you need to hear. And this is how I'm going to deliver it. I may apologize for how I delivered it, but I will not apologize for what I say. And like I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible at apologizing. For the fact that it's like, okay, knowing that I thought out about what I'm going to say and how, I'm very analytical when it comes to thinking. I play out whole situations in my head prior to them happening, right? So in an argument,
I want to know how do you do that? I have not gained that level of expertise.
I fully understand where you're coming from, sis.
Yeah, you got to open your third eye, girl.
And two of a kind, and that's not okay.
But listen. So being that I already in my head, I already know the directions of which this conversation can take place, and I know the person. First of all, if I'm going to argue with you, it's going to be worth an argument. Right. So it's something that, all right, I'm carefully thinking out my responses to all the rebuttals that you could possibly throw at me. Right. So I'm not going to apologize. Right. I'm not going to apologize for anything that I said. But me knowing that I am terrible at apologizing, I raised my child to be very good at apologizing. You know, he apologizes more than I do. You know, he understands when he's wrong, and he'll come to me, like if he's giving me a hard time about doing his homework or his schoolwork or anything, he'll come to me and he'll say, you know what, I'm sorry. And when he was just giving me the I'm sorry, you're sorry for what? What are you sorry for? Because I was not raised like that. I was raised to just apologize and not actually acknowledge the part that I took in the situation. So he'll come to me and be like, I'm sorry for giving you a hard time with doing my schoolwork. If I'm going to apologize, it's going to be a meaningful apology. I'm not going to just give you, oh, I'm sorry and I want you to do better, or I'm not going to sit here and promise you that I'm going to do better. Like, as far as me apologizing, it's certain things that you have to be honest and earnest with yourself about, right? That's something that I've accepted in my 29 years of being on this earth, that I've accepted that I'm not great at apologizing, but I've come very far from where I was. And it's not something that I'm going to continue to work on. Like, it is what it is. You either accept that I'm sorry you feel this way, or you don't accept it at all.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. Right there, at that moment, I understand where you're coming from, because you had to learn to you was apologizing for everything. But what you do need to learn is things that you should apologize for and things that you shouldn't apologize for. You shouldn't cancel out the fact that somebody deserves an apology, because at one phase or another, you could be wrong. So you have to own that and accept that. You can't tell somebody to accept your wrong behavior. When you're right, you're right. But when you're wrong, and you need to apologize for that. You can't tell somebody to accept your behavior and still continue to be a supportive entity to you, because then it just sounds selfish. Then it just sounds selfish and overbearing, and that means I'm gonna stay the way I am, and everybody change around me and accept me for who I am, and I make no change, and that's not okay.
See, I get that. And I guess with me, it's more so like I'm absolutely fine. You know, you could ask Mahalia. Like, I'm fine with calling somebody, because sometimes, you know, we in situations where we can't see what we did wrong, you know? So like in a current situation, I'm having like this back and forth with a friend, and I call Mahalia and ask her, and she's like, okay, this is your feelings that you feeling are valid, but you also need to acknowledge the part that you played. You know, you also need to acknowledge that you told this person you would do X, Y, and Z, and you canceled on them last minute. That's fine. I can accept responsibility for that, but I'm not going to give you the apology that you want to hear.
And that's wrong, because if you accept the apology that you want to hear, right? So the same way that you expect the apology you want to hear, you should be woman enough to give the apology that you would want.
See, I can't say that I necessarily
stuck in your ways.
Agree. No, it's not that I'm stuck in my ways. But I think that, you know, I guess it goes back to the apology language, you know, is that someone can come up to you and say, okay, I'm sorry, and it won't ever happen again, right? But to you, it may not seem a valid apology, because what are you sorry for, right? You also scored on accept responsibility. So
right. Like, so I'm trying to understand you.
So if they're not telling you what they're sorry for, to you, it may not seem like a valid apology.
Right. So that's up to me to accept that apology or not. But the one thing that I am, the same way that I am looking for an apology and I want somebody to accept responsibility for their behavior, I cannot expect someone to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So if I hurt your feelings, and you tell me that I hurt your feelings, I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to apologize to you as a woman and tell you that I didn't mean that. I'm not going to say I'm sorry you feel or anything else, because at the end of the day, something I did made you feel a way. So I'm going to apologize to you the same way I want to be apologized to. You cannot expect someone to consistently do something if you're not showing them what you want. You can't give an expectation and not show what you want. You have to show somebody that you're worth what you're asking for.
Right. And I understand that. But I guess what I'm more so saying is I'm not going, and maybe I shouldn't put it as I'm not going to give you the apology that you want to hear. I'm not going to apologize for something if there is nothing to apologize for. You know, like in Jess, I know Jess had to go, but in Jess's situation, right? She reached out to this person because she was genuinely concerned about the fact that, you know, her spouse goes out to the world as a Black man every day. And with the climate that we're in, you know, she wants to pray that he comes home every single night. This friend took it as a sign of disrespect. I'm not going to apologize to you because I did nothing wrong. Me saying, you know, I hope your boyfriend comes home every day is not a sign of disrespect. If you took it that way, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm not going to apologize for the things that I've said because I meant every word of it.
At the end of the day, you cannot control how anyone takes anything. You cannot control if someone feels disrespected. You cannot. That's something that you cannot control. But in the moment that you are doing it and you feel that way, now Jess' situation, that's completely different. She chose to take something and turn it into a negative entity. Everything you say, the delivery may not be as great. Just because it sounds right to you, and I'm telling you from somebody who spoke with us, a tongue as a sword, it sounds right to you, doesn't mean that it's the right thing to say.
I want to make, like, you're not going to make me feel some type of way for what I said if I meant what I said. Like,
Again,
right.
I need y'all to hear me because y'all not hearing me.
But wait, let me say what I was saying, right? I completely 110% agree with what you said, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. However, I don't believe in giving ungenuine apologies. So I cannot sit here and tell you, right, that I apologize for something and then I don't really mean it. Like what is the purpose of me telling you that I apologize for something that I don't mean? I'm just giving you the apology that I know you want to hear. At the end of the day, it's not like it's not a heartfelt apology. I'm not accepting responsibility for whatever you want me to accept responsibility. I'm not showing repentance. I'm not, what was the first one, Mayu?
Regret, expressing regret.
Yeah, I'm not expressing regret. I'm just telling you the words that I think you would like to hear. So I don't agree with necessarily giving disingenuine apologies for anything. If I meant it, I meant it.
The thing with what Drea is saying, I will accept responsibility for delivery. Maybe my delivery was too direct. Maybe my delivery was not what, you know, is fitting for you. And I'll apologize that you felt that way. But the actual words, as Elaine said, I meant those.
100%.
My grandfather always told me, do not apologize if you don't mean it. So the one thing you can never say, and this is why I do not accept I'm sorry for. Because I'm never going to call you and tell you I'm sorry for. Whatever I said to you, I meant to say to you. And if you feel disrespected, it's because I meant to disrespect you. Because
it's not the same thing, Drea.
I want you, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you one, and I'm going for how I was raised in my household. I can't speak for my youth household, and I can't speak for your household, Elaine. But in my household, we were told by my grandfather, do not apologize if you do not mean it. So there would never be I'm sorry for. It's never I'm sorry because, I'm sorry but. It's either I'm sorry and I accept full responsibility for my actions. Because when you say you're sorry, it's because you really understand that you made someone feel away. It's not because I'm only gonna apologize because it sounds good. So when I say I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you feel. I'm sorry that you feel this because it sounds good. It's not a genuine apology, so I don't want it. And that again, that's how I feel.
So this is how I feel, and I think this is what Elaine was saying as well. Now, for the listeners, Elaine and I have been friends for a while, and Drea and I have been friends for even longer. All right, like these are my sisters, right? And there is nothing that I would ever say to either one of them with the intent to disrespect, right? Now, again, I'm not a verbal person when it comes to emotion. So when I do speak sometime, it's because I'm probably at the end of my limit. Like, this is it. And because of that, sometimes the delivery may not be the nicest. If I'm just like fed up, the delivery may not come out right. Now, if I say something to either one of them and they feel offended by that, I will apologize that they are feeling offended, because that is not my intent to ever offend any one of my sisters. But again, I am very conscious of the words that come out of my mouth. So most likely, 10 out of 10 times, the words that came out of my mouth, I meant. Now, my delivery may have been off, and I will apologize for that, because my intent was not to hurt you. My intent was for you to understand where I was coming from. But my delivery sucked. And I will apologize for my delivery, not the actual content of what I've said.
Right.
So,
and I think that's where I stand too.
For how you felt because of the way I said it, of the way I communicated the message. That's what I'm apologizing for. I'm not apologizing for the actual message, because the message is real.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page about that.
Okay.
And it's funny because I've been. Go ahead.
I know I'm not going to cut you off. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm not apologizing on
I've been in situations where, I've told somebody, I'm sorry you feel that way. And they're like, that's not an apology. To you, it's not an apology. But to me, that is a genuine, heartfelt apology. Because the last thing, that I want to do to somebody that I care about is to hurt their feelings, to make them feel disrespected, to make their feelings feel invalid or anything like that. That's the last thing on my agenda. I never want to make someone that I care about feel that way. So I apologize that you feel that way. However, my point is, these are the things that you did that I did not like. How you receive something is up to you. 100%. We can control what we say, but we cannot control, like Dre was saying, we cannot control how the other person receives it. And different days of the week, different people, different scenarios, you receive things differently. So if I sit here and I tell you, something that you did that made me feel some type of way, you're not going to flip it and talk about, well, now you owe me an apology. No, because I've expressed my feelings to you, how I'm expecting you to apologize. I've already accepted the fact that the apology may not come, but I'm expecting you to apologize because I'm expressing to you a way that you've made me feel less than, you belittled me, or you made me feel hurt or disrespected. And I feel a lot of times people like, well, you disrespected me by telling me your feelings is not disrespectful. It's you couldn't handle what I said. So that's why you feel disrespected. So I'm not going to apologize because I didn't make you feel that way. You took it upon yourself to receive it that way. So I apologize. You feel that way. However, that was not my intent.
Hold on. Even
though I'm going to disagree a little bit.
I'm going to disagree a lot with you. And
I'm going to, before you tell us why we disagree a lot, I'm just going to disagree a little bit because sometimes in the heat of the moment, your delivery may not be what you intended. And we have to acknowledge that. So I will take full acknowledgement and responsibility of my delivery, right? And I could understand how someone will receive that in a way of you tripping. And I will acknowledge that and I will apologize that you feel that way because that was not my intent.
So this is what I'm gonna try to explain to you. The reason why I don't, even though me and you are on the same playing field as far as apologies, I think that our definition is different.
Explain.
Please elaborate.
Okay, so me and you on the same playing field, right? But you feel like I'm sorry, but I'm sorry that you feel. And I feel like there's no I'm sorry that you feel. You either I'm sorry or you're not. You feel like what I said to you needed to be said, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I feel like I'm sorry, the delivery was wrong, the timing may have been wrong, and my feelings may have led me to say what I wanted to say to you, but I didn't do it correctly. And at the end of the day, you have to apologize for that. It's not the fact of what you're saying to somebody, even though it may be true. I'm going to stress this, and I can't stress this enough, is about how you say it.
And I think that's where the lines get crossed, is what is an acceptable apology to you. So if you get into it with your friends or your spouse, and they do something and you're just like, oh my God, they need to apologize because I'm just heated right now. If they apologize the way that they know how to apologize, and that's not your apology language, you would not be willing to accept that. So for Drea, it's not her apology language for her to hear, I'm sorry you feel this way.
Okay, so let's just agree to disagree because we're just going in full circles at this point. So, you know what, listeners, let us know. Do you agree that I'm sorry you feel is a real, genuine apology, like me and Elaine? Or do you feel like Drea, like that's not a real apology? Let us know what you think. But right now, we're just going to move on to the next apology language,
which is requesting forgiveness. Requesting that someone free you from the guilt of your offense is a powerful thing and will ultimately set both people free. Even though you may believe that a request for forgiveness is implied in any apology, someone whose apology language is requesting forgiveness needs to hear it out loud. Some believe this is the hardest one because it means handing over control of the fate of the relationship. It means accepting the possibility of rejection, and it means admitting failure. Now, none of us got this one, but how important is requesting forgiveness for you guys? And is this something that you feel like you could kind of relate to?
For me personally, I don't think it's really important because I feel like I get it, for a person who this is their apology language, requesting forgiveness is, maybe something that is important for them to in a way like admit fault and hope that they are forgiven. But I think forgiveness comes over time. And I think that you can accept someone's apology without necessarily forgiving them right there in that moment. So for me, it's not really that important because I feel like it will come depending on the relationship and how much you value it. It will come eventually, but it's not important for me to necessarily hear that or to say that in a apology.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for forgiveness is not something that I really do need because, like Elaine says, forgiveness does take time. And just because you apologize to someone doesn't mean that they forgive you. You can really hurt somebody's feelings and they can say, like, yeah, I accept your apology. But sometimes it takes a while for people to receive your apology. They can hear it, but that doesn't mean they received it. So forgiveness is not something that is on my agenda, like, please let me hear you say you forgive me, because you can tell me you forgive me and that won't be true, and that probably will bother me more than waiting to see how our relationship moves forward. I'd rather wait to see where the forgiveness is coming in than to just hear someone say it.
Yeah, I don't really necessarily need to hear the request for an apology because, like you guys said, someone could apologize and you accept the apology, but that does not mean you actually forgave them. It takes time. But on the other hand, I sometimes feel like if you apologize to me in, my primary language was accepting responsibility and showing regret. If I say that I'm over it and, I hear the apology and I receive the apology, I don't need you to say, please forgive me. Like if I already say I accepted it and I see that you're regretful for what you've done to hurt me, I could move on with a forgiveness. So I don't have to really hear, can you please
Those
forgive me?
words.
I feel like sometimes people who feel like they have to use, and I could be wrong, but I feel like sometimes the people who feel like they have to hear that almost want you to like beg for, or some type of power trip to hear like, you must relieve me from this guilt.
Yeah, like your freedom is in my hands.
Right.
I do not forgive thee. Like,
Right. Like I don't need to do all of that. If I see that you accept the responsibility and you're actually showing regret and it's genuine, I don't need for you to like beg me for forgiveness. The last one is making restitution, justifying the wrong and finding a way to make amends. this is probably the most labor intensive apology language. You have to make up for what you did. And I was reading a couple of examples and stuff online on what this one means, because I was like, make up for what you did. 'Cause, so I was reading example, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry that I did this to you, and as a token of, you know, my apology, I know you love so and so, here's tickets to their concert, or I know you like this, so I got you this. Like almost like a physical or a materialistic aspect of it. What do you guys, this is how I received it, and this is the example that was given, but what do you guys feel about that one?
You ain't gonna buy my forgiveness. I don't care what you give me. You can't buy. You can't give me nothing. If you did something to hurt me, if you did something to disrespect me, if you did anything that would remotely change our relationship, nothing materialistic would make me forgive you. Actions speaks louder than words. You can tell me a million times you're sorry, but you can be sorry and doing the same thing. You're not sorry. You can buy me tickets to Chris Brown to see him in person. I'm gonna accept it, but I still don't bang with you.
Yeah, for me, like, I get it where if it's like, okay, you came to my house and you broke something that I really like, or you broke my TV or something that was expensive, you saying sorry at that point is not enough, right? Because I would still have to go out and buy a new TV. But you purchasing me a new TV, I would feel like, okay, you know what, this person is regretful. They
Well, I
accept
didn't
the
even think about it
responsibility
that
for
way.
what they've done. But if you're just trying to apologize, like you stood me up and you're just trying to apologize by buying me tickets or flowers or something like that, it's not for me, you know. And it kind of goes back to when we was talking about the love language. Like, you know, I scored like I think the lowest out of everybody for
Oh
receiving
my gosh,
gifts.
I was just about to say that. I
Yeah,
was
it's just, it's not for me.
when I read it, I was like, someone who probably scored high in receiving gifts, this could probably be their apology language, because we all suck at of receiving gifts. That was last for all of us. And
Yeah.
as I was reading it, there's one thing that kind of like grabbed my attention. It was like, receiving gifts, if that's your love language, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a materialistic person. Because my cousin actually scored high on this one. And it explained that sometimes a visual symbol of love is more important to most than others, right? And I was thinking about it. Someone who's like in a long distance relationship, receiving gifts might be one of their primary languages, because they can't physically be with that person. That person can't really like do acts of service for them, like things around the house, like, you know, I appreciate, or I guess they could still do words of affirmation. But if, you know, if your husband is in the army and he's deployed and stuff, the things that are left behind to remind you of him will mean more.
That's true. That's true. Because you'll take more of those things, like it'll have more of a sentimental value, you know, like if he sends you, like he could be deployed but never misses a birthday or anniversary, always sends you a card or flowers, you know, like you may
Yeah.
keep all of the cards and stuff like that. I know something, not to really go back into receiving gifts, but something I heard B. Simone say was that every year for her birthday, her grandmother mails her a check. And obviously she's a millionaire now, so she doesn't need to cash it. And she never does, but she like stacks them up and just keeps them for sentimental value. So I guess for stuff like that, like receiving gifts would be important. And then also, I don't know, I think as far as like restitution wise, for you to buy me like a sympathy gift, I would look at it as a sympathy gift, you know, like I messed up, here's a gift.
Right.
And then I feel like every time I would look at it, it would kind of bring me back to, oh, you only bought this for me because of X, Y, and Z. And then I would never get over it. Like I would never be able to forgive you.
And you know what it is too? A lot of things too, and I feel like this because I've been in a relationship before where they will buy you gifts and then they'll bring it up as a way of, oh well, you ain't say nothing when I was buying you this, when I was getting you that, when I was doing this. It's just like, whoa, anything you got me, I could have got for myself. You did that because you wanted to, and that's why I've always learned not to take like gifts as an apology or anything else. Like you're definitely not gonna buy my love. You're not gonna buy my affection, and you nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think that sometimes, like, I don't feel like it makes you actually regretful or remorseful about the action that you committed against the person. You know, I think it's just like you kind of get in a habit of just, well, I know that a gift would make this all go away, so I'm just going to buy them something because I know that would make them happy. But are you really sorry
That sounds like
about
some real
what
sugar
you
daddy
did? Like, I was watching the Netflix documentary McMillions, and it was about this whole scam with the McDonald's Monopoly games and how people were stealing all the money. But everybody that was in the scheme, you know, they had to pay restitution as punishment for millions of dollars that they stole from McDonald's, right? But some of them, when they interviewed them, they was like, would you do it again? And they was like, definitely. So it's like, that's not even enough. Like, you just got to pay back $1 million in restitution. And you're still like, nah, I'll do it again tomorrow. Like, so I don't know. It's nice occasionally for me personally, but it's not, I don't accept that as a form of an apology.
Yeah, but it's really I didn't think about it the way you thought about it. Like if somebody came into my house and broke something and you apologize and replace it, that I didn't really think about it that way. But that is nice.
Girl,
Like
I had that happen to me.
If you come in the house and you break my stuff, if you really sorry, put it back.
Yeah.
But I didn't
I've
think
had that
about
happen. This is like gonna sound so petty, but when I'm not gonna say I was extremely younger, but I love Disney movies. I'm a kid at heart, right? And when Princess and the Frog first came out, I was so obsessed with it, right? Because it was like the first Black princess that we got to see on the big screen. So I saw it in movie theaters and I bought the DVD. So one day, the person that I was with, their niece came over and she broke my DVD.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Wait,
you about to fight a 5-year-old?
Yes. Yes, I really was. I was so upset. Like, I was upset at her mom. I was upset. What? I know. That's why I said it was petty. I said that. Disclaimer. I said it in the beginning. It was petty.
Oh, no.
But you know what?
So mad because
what I can say is it taught you a valuable lesson. You are not gonna forgive somebody if they don't replace it.
Oh, yes. What? Okay, because that's not what I was talking about when I agreed with you.
That's why she used the TV as an example.
That's why
not the DVD.
TVs are expensive, and especially my TV. I don't have a cheap TV. If you break it, replace it.
I think that it means more. Depending on how much it costs. Like if you're gonna break my mirror,
when they break my DVD, y'all. First of all, I'm not gonna get mad because I don't use DVDs anymore. But
look how long ago that movie came out.
Even if I did, I don't think I would.
I was so mad. Y'all don't understand. And I think what made me more mad about it was the fact that my boyfriend at the time didn't tell me until one day I went to go watch it and I was like, yo, where's my Princess and the Frog DVD? And he was like, oh, I didn't tell you, so and so broke it. And I'm like, no, you ain't tell me. Go get her mother, tell her mother to buy me another one because I'm tight.
This story just got that much greater. That much greater. I cannot right now.
I will not.
I cannot.
But for real, I was just, like, I think
I would have been more annoyed at the fact that he didn't say anything.
Right. And then he tried to tell me that, nah, I told you. I definitely told you. No, you didn't. Stop lying. Oh, I should.
Because I remember. Because I would have remembered.
Y'all making me relive the moment.
I would have remembered this anger.
I was going through a very traumatic experience just now, like PTSD.
Nah, because my Princess and the Frog, baby, I hope you got Disney Plus because you never have to worry about anybody breaking it again.
I do. So now I can watch it anytime I want.
I love me some Princess and the Frog, but if somebody came to my home and their kid broke that, I'll be okay.
Right, like I said,
I
really do think that it's not what actually it's about how much money you pay, and I don't even think you were mad at the DVD. I think that you were mad at the principal. Like you broke something that didn't belong to you, and you failed to acknowledge it.
Yeah. Right. For me, it was, I think, like Drea said, I think that was the part that made me more upset about it, because obviously I could go to Best Buy or any movie store at the time and replace the movie. But I think it was the fact that no one acknowledged it. And then this little girl and her mother came back to my house and still didn't say nothing, like didn't apologize for it or nothing to me personally. And then my boyfriend at the time tried to make it seem like I was this crazy person that he told me and he didn't. So yeah, I think it was just more so of the principle that, you came into my home and you destructed my property and you just failed to have any type of regard for it.
Yeah, it was a principle, but I would have been mad at him because if you know she broke it and you didn't want me to find out, you should have replaced it.
Right. Oh yeah, I was definitely mad at him too. I was mad at everybody. I was mad at him. I was mad at the little girl. I was mad at her mother.
Not the little girl.
I just need to know, how old was this little girl? How old was she?
She was like 5. She was like 5.
Again, she was like, catch me outside. Meet me outside.
Oh my god!
I'm kind of persuaded that if she would have asked you because she had it, you would have said no.
I would have definitely.
Oh my god!
My goodness!
Definitely. I would have bought her own, but I wasn't gonna give her my copy. I got like the deluxe version. I got the deluxe version. The $24.99 version. She would have got the $17.99 version.
$2 difference that would have cost the same with tax. Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Jesus. No, but like I don't. Elaine gave me a new perspective with the TV thing, not the DVD, y'all. But like, if you come to my house with your kid and they smash all my limited Mac and those are, not discontinued, I feel some type of way.
Right.
So like, I'll accept your apology, but like, you're gonna see where you could get this unlimited Mac lipstick.
One, I'm gonna need y'all to understand that when kids come to your house, they should not be all over the place.
They shouldn't, but some parents are irresponsible.
And here's the problem. I'm gonna be responsible. Get your kid.
Right, because when they break my DVD.
Oh my
god. Get your kid.
Because she broke my DVD.
Because if you break something, I don't know if I'm going to be able to forgive you right away. You can say sorry, but I don't know if I'm going to receive it the way you want me to receive it.
Like restitution.
Get your kid.
Right.
Get your kid.
You know what? Y'all a mess. But I think to some extent, everybody, or I'm not going to say everybody, but I think to some extent, like, people receive things. Like, I don't really do well with receiving gifts, even though I like to gift them. But the gift that I do have from people that I love, I really value them. But it's just not my primary. But for people who really need that visual symbol of love, I can see how that could be important to them.
Right. And I think receiving gift is more so like you were saying, like a visual symbol where it's like, if you do not purchase me anything or give me any type of gift, I think that you don't love me. As opposed to us, where it's just like, it's not necessary for you to prove your love to me. Like, yeah, any gift will be appreciated, but it's not necessary for me to sit here and say, oh, you love me because you bought me this,
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, let us know how you feel. And if making restitution is your apology language, let us know how that relates to your love language, if that is similar. Because I feel like in a way, accepting responsibility kind of go hand in hand with like words of affirmation and acts of service. Like, I feel like that go hand in hand. So I'm curious to see how this plays out for everybody else. So let us know what you think. Let us know your results, both apology and love language. You could reach us at mydrinkmytruth@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate this podcast, subscribe, comment, like, and of course, please share. So until next time, cheers!
Cheers!